The microphone.
Welcome to the Faith Conversation. It's okay. Welcome to the Faith Conversation being presented today by Water Wells for Africa, by its founder, the Reverend Kurt Dahlin from Breakwater Embassy Church in Redondo Beach, California. Just to give you a brief bit of background, the Mission and Outreach Committee has been in conversation with Water Wells for Africa, thanks to the introduction we got from Sarah and Rachel and Paul Ilger to Water Wells for Africa for an astounding mission and ministry that has been going on in Malawi since 1996. Mission and Outreach has done things like buy jerry cans so the women in Africa could go as far as 30 miles to carry water to their villages. And water is such an important ingredient for everybody, but particularly in the rural areas in Africa where we have heard for years, all my life and for all of your lives, we've been listening to the desperate needs in that slowly developing continent, parts of that continent. And we have with us today someone who God touched and has hands-on experience for 30 years doing what we only imagined we could do, and now we can. So without using up any more of his time, Reverend Kurt Dahlin, would you please come and bless us with your word?
I feel like I should bow. This is good. It was a privilege for me to be here today, and thank you for Pastor Mark and for Sarah Elder to make it possible for me to be here. Is this working yet? So I'm going to stand back because I want to show you some videos at some point. But the brochure, the infomercial for this says I'm a pastor of a church in Redondo Beach, which is true. And actually, my first trip to Malawi is in 1994. I made my first trip to Malawi. I was a mission pastor at a church, and one of my jobs was to find humanitarian and gospel opportunities. I started out actually in 1991. I don't think this is going to work. Let me figure that out. Feel better already, though. So in 1994, I made a first trip to Malawi, and one of the things we discovered there was a great need for water. I found women coming from no visible water point to no visible village with these huge buckets of water, and I just felt my heart grow 2 times that day. God just shapes you as you put yourself out there. And in 1996 was our very first borehole. So this September is our 30-year anniversary of going there. And we now, after 30 years, have 500 new water wells. We're giving water to more than 500,000 people that have never had a single clean drink of water. We want to do 500 more? Why not? We've got plenty of time. So water is very important to God. And in Matthew 25, I just want to begin with this little scripture here. You know the story, the sheep and the goats and the king coming. And the king says to those on his right, I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. And they say, Lord, when did we see you hungry or feed you or thirsty and give you something to drink? And he said, I tell you the truth, whatever you did for the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. Now, instead of talking to you all about the benefits of water, I thought I'd just show you some videos to get you right there, to get you into the country, see the color, see the joy, and to see the benefits, and hear from actual people that are benefiting from our partnership together. So I'm told that if I press this, did it work? Very good. Let's try again.
Whoops. I think it advanced to the There you go.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all the people in America that contributed to this well. Good people of Legacy Family Church and others that gave large and small amounts. And the result is that a well was drilled here, 42 meters deep, that provides water for this whole area. It's a blessing for these people. They've gathered here to celebrate. They're singing a song right now that says, other villages, other people are going to be so jealous because we have water here. This is a rare and precious thing. And I know some of you sacrificed to make this possible. And I'm going to communicate to the people, both in English and in Chichewa, that there are people in America that care about them, that are praying for them, that are thinking of them. And they did so when they contributed money to drill this well. Thank you.
All right, it's a borehole, we call them over there, but here the water well is dedicated by Paul and Rachel Ilger, great friends, been with us many, many times. Every year we go back and do site inspection tour, and we do medical outreaches, we do gospel ministry. There's all kinds of things that are attached to this. But in this particular village, Sangula Village, it's dedicated to them. And of course, Sarah works here, Presbyterian, Westwood Presbyterian Church. And this borehole that you see here is 33 meters deep. On average, we go 45 meters. We can go through a couple different water levels because we want it to be clean and we want it to be sustainable. We want not only quantity, but we want quality water. So this particular village has 60 households. It's about 6 people per household, and there's an additional 4 other villages that will benefit from this particular water well. About 160 households, that's almost 900 people. So this is a very big step forward for those people in that particular village. This is in Machinga. It's a district that's right below the Lake Malawi. It's generally farmers. They farm rice and corn and tobacco. There's a couple of different tribal groups, the Lomwe and Yao tribes. This is an extremely hard to reach area, very difficult, and we're not tripping over any other water agencies. Where we go, we're at the end of the road, into the dirt path, into the bike path, and often people build roads in order to bring the water to the villages. They're getting water from open spaces, which is always contaminated. They're always sick. And in the dry season, their little water sources dry up, which means women and girls have to travel even further and further to get water. And there's fights at the water well, at their water sites, just because women are queuing up and some women have too many buckets and fights will break out. But they say when we put in a water well, there's peace in the village, peace in the family, and women don't have to beat each other up anymore for their place in line. They'll get up at 3 o'clock in the morning regularly, take the young girls with them. Girls are the principal water harvesters, so it's impossible for young girls to go to school. And nothing will change without water. The reason it's Malawi and many underdeveloped countries are stuck is because they don't have the first step out of poverty, and that's water. Water makes everything possible, makes the future brighter. So in this particular situation, because we're a public benefit nonprofit, we can receive funding from anybody in the world, nationally, internationally. We get it from schools, we get it from churches, we get it from individuals, corporations, businesses, and it all goes to helping the neediest people in the world. Malawi is still one of the most underdeveloped countries in the world. So part of the motivation for Malawi was Jesus said, go preach the gospel to the poor. Find the poorest country, go there. That's pretty much how it works. We have a board here in the United States for a certified nonprofit. We also have a board in Malawi, legally recognized in their country. We have no big office buildings. We don't have massive marketing staff. We're all volunteers. We're all gainfully employed in other things. We want to get as much of our donor money to the field as possible. Each well on our website, it says $8,000, but in November, Malawi had a huge devaluation of their kwacha, their currency, 44%. So we're thinking $9,000 will do it, but we don't know. We haven't felt the full impact of that yet. So video number 2, it's a different village. That's also in an area up by the lake. Lake comes down, you got Mangachi, you got Machinga in the southern part, Yao tribes, one-way tribe. One of the things that we insist upon as part of our protocols is the development of water committee. So we have to have a commitment from 10 people in the village, leadership, who will commit themselves being trained to maintain the borehole. So we don't want it, we're just not going in for numbers and looking for statistics about how many water wells we can install. We want water to be there for decades, and we want people to benefit for generations. We have now 3rd generation kids growing up without any knowledge of waterborne disease. Young girls able to go to school, kids healthy and happier just because of a borehole. So we don't want to spend all your money or anyone's money, all the time and energy it takes to put one in and not have it sustainable. We probably have the highest sustainability rate of any water charity. One of the big rubs against any charity is the money doesn't get to the field, and then the money doesn't accomplish what you say it's going to accomplish. But we go every single year, we touch every borehole, we have major donor dedications, we meet with our accountability partners and our workers that we work together with since they were in high school. 30 years now, they're married, have kids, become substantial leaders in the community and the church. And these are accountable partners that we have. We have a great accountability structure in place. I know that when I send over a ton of money, it's going to go to the right place. It's going to accomplish what we want to accomplish. And as I said, we go every year just to celebrate water and life and to get back in touch with why we work so hard to make this happen. And just to see the joy that it brings. And in many cases, we had roads that need to be built. In this particular village, I'm going to show you right here, one of the incredible benefits of water is that they don't go to the clinic anymore. They don't have to travel, they don't have to buy medicine for waterborne illnesses, which is a major cause of sickness in that country. So they say that the doctor misses us at the clinic, but they save a lot of time and money by having a water well in their community. And that frees them up to do other things, like work on their gardens and help their kids in school. So you'll hear a little bit about that in this particular one. My beautiful assistant. Water right out of the ground. This water has been there the whole time, but this is the very first clean, sustainable water source in this entire area. You can see how many buckets are lined up here in the middle of the day. All the little children. These are the people that are being benefited from this well donated by Lisa on behalf of Paul Ilger, our good friend Paul Ilger. It says here that a life well lived for Jesus Christ. Paul was a wonderful Christian man, and we just are in awe of all his service over 12 years here in Malawi. And so we want to thank Lisa for making this happen in memory of him.
and also just to see the people. We have Rachel here with us today, his lovely wife, who's now, this is her 12th season in serving here in Malawi. This is Friday, June 17, 2022. Kurt Dahlin, Westwood for Africa. We have site inspection tour. We do it every year. We like to come get back in touch with the people we're helping and verify that these are working, that they get installed. These are in very difficult places that we come to. We specialize in the most complicated areas. So we're in Ngundende village, huh?
Yes.
So we have water committee here. Each village has 10. This particular one, we have 6 women and 4 men. We believe in empowering the women. This is the first time that women have been able to serve on any committee in the village. So it's really a step forward. I'm really excited about it. Edward is the chair, and the first thing he told us is there's just no more waterborne disease and children can go to school on time. So the teachers want to know why hundreds of kids are coming to school on time. It's just because we have a water well. An immediate change is 100% elimination of waterborne disease, because why? It's waterborne. So they're so happy. The issue in the past, he says, was this sickness and disease, but our future is bright. And they're also, what we're finding, is able to mold bricks in the dry season, which is impossible without water. But there's housing going on, there's development taking place as a result of this particular borehole. So we're talking to Evelyn Yohani, who is the treasurer. She's an elected official on the water committee here. And this is the first time, she said, that women have been able to serve on a committee. And the immediate advantage is not only helping kids going to school, but they have time for family now, and they can work together in the gardens, they can work together in the farms. She used to work all day for just 2 buckets. Now she can get 6 buckets in 1 hour. Unbelievable. And she also said this: we can help our kids in school. So we're never able to do that, but now we can. We can look at their work, make sure they're advancing. So it's like a little homeschool movement going on here just from this water product. Working on the families. She said the families are stronger. They have time to work together, time to chat. And diarrhea is in the past. She said we were friends of the hospital, Dr. Chisomo, but now he misses us. They used to go 2 or 3 times a month with some of their kids for sickness. They have not been in 7 months since this was installed. They only go for malaria now. They said she came here from Palombe in 1990, no boreholes here. She said government officials have come, government has made promises for decades and decades. And they said, give us money, build us a road. So they do it, and they never come. So this particular time, the chief called a meeting of everyone in the village, said, hey, we need to build this road, the drillers are coming. They're going, you know, we're gonna do it. They got 40 people, worked for 2 days to clear the road, clear trees, make the spot. They worked hard for 2 days, not actually believing that this was going to really happen. So they said they were so happy when the drillers actually came. The Water Wells for Africa drilling team showed up and made this dream come true for this place. So we're really grateful for all the hard work and for the drillers. The company that we use here, they're so accountable. Our partners, our local guys are so amazing. To even find a place like this and to even make it back here is incredible. So we are so happy here to be a part of site inspection and to honor Lisa's effort to make this reality possible, so all these people. And Rachel, we're so grateful that you could actually come be with us to see what has happened here on behalf of Paul, who served so long here in Malawi, the warm heart of Africa.
Thank you so much. We know you worked hard alongside Paul, and now this dream came true. You contributed to this village right here. You made their life easier, and I thank you. And on behalf of my husband, who's now in heaven, thank you so much. Zikomo.
the things that we've learned every time we go is the benefits of water. You know, women would tell us to get 3 o'clock in the morning, be gone, come back late. Their husbands would beat them because they were suspected them of extramarital affairs. Young girls would be raped on the way to through the bushes in the dark to get water. And mothers would come to me and said, you know, we're thankful for the water that you put in the site of the village because it restricts unwanted pregnancies. And then women came back and I said that their husbands would beat them. And I go, how about now? No, they don't beat us anymore. In fact, he said, one place, I'd ask the guys, you used to beat your wife? And they'd shake their heads and go, yeah, we did. But anymore, no, we don't do it anymore. So, I mean, there's just so much peace that water brings. It's unbelievable. And then the women were telling me, yeah, they don't beat us anymore. And they said, one lady said, we don't even quarrel at home. And I said, I need water at my house. Well, we have really great accountability partners, great drillers who will go to the ends of the earth to make this happen. Our guys live sacrificial lives over there. They're really invested in it. They got the compassion, the heart to make it happen in the most difficult places. And one of the things we've learned over the years is the impact that it has on child education, particularly in Malawi. Malawi has the highest dropout rate in all of Southern Africa. 16 nations in Southern Africa, Malawi has the highest dropout rate. And they're struggling to find an answer to that. You know, they're doing conferences and reports and research, and they call it a haunting problem with no solution. But in 2020, we weren't able to go there because of COVID. No one could fly, of course. And so, as COVID was waning at the end of the year, I sent my guys to the Department of Education in Malawi, and I said, go there and find out what they need to help open schools. We want to help schools reopen. They came back with a list of 600 schools without water. I said, okay, in our area, let's begin to peck away at that list. Let's start putting water wells in schools. So we were able to put in 10 in 2020, and then I think we did 20, and then we have 30. We have over 50 that we've done now. We're going to target some even right now. We just, going back in 2021 and visiting these schools and seeing the impact that water has had in just 1 year to school has been staggering. Attendance is up, academic performance is up, graduation rate is up, girl attendance is up, literacy gap between boys and girls has dramatically changed. Girls are competing with boys, you know, academically, and health, of course, and girls are now coming to school in massive numbers. So you saw here, every village that we've gone to, we said, you know, how's the educational system? I've got a committee of 10 people there, and they said, all of our kids are going to school now. I said, how can you afford that? Well, we're not spending money on clinics. We're not spending money on medicine. We're not spending so much time. They would go 2 and 3 times a month to the clinic just because of waterborne illness. They go, like you heard, we don't go anymore. So now the women said, we can sleep in. We can wash our bedding. They said, women said, we were washing in water like this, but now we can take 3 baths a day. Can you imagine? I had women line up and say, look at our feet, they're all clean. So precious. The changes, and they go, we can wash bedding. And so if you go into a village with a borehole, you see clothes hanging up and things hanging on the bushes, you go, there's a borehole here. Because that does not happen. We put in a borehole in a place, and this lady, she was 90 years old, which is twice the longevity age. And she was so happy chattering away, so I asked her interpreter, what she's so happy about? She says, I can go to bed clean after 90 years, just because of clean water. But in the schools that we found as we've gone there, that it's made a dramatic reversal in all the problems facing kids in Malawi in terms of child education. So we're actually in the process right now of documenting all our data and putting together and doing further research to show how impactful water is when placed in a village and especially in a school. We went back in 2021, one of the schools told us, we're so grateful, had a big party there, and the girls were especially happy just because it allows them to come to school. But they said, we're going to mold 120,000 bricks And we're going to make our own teacher housing because our teachers are coming from 15 and 20 kilometers away on a bike. When it rains, they can't get here. We need teacher housing on campus. So I thought, okay. So we went to another school. This is a little scruffy school, had one classroom. It only went up to 6th grade. They were meeting outdoors on the ground, under trees and under grass shacks. And they said, we're going to build two new classrooms. We want to go all the way up to 8th grade. So I thought, okay. I came back a month later. My guys sent me pictures of them. They had already molded 30,000 bricks. They did 70,000 bricks. We went back the next year as we normally do. They had already built 2 classrooms themselves out of the bricks that they themselves as a community molded from the water that was placed there by a generous donation. And I looked in the village, and they're making houses for their family. They're molding bricks for businesses. There's a little dirt road there, and they're starting to make some shops. And I go, wow, just from water, industry's coming up, housing is being made, they're making school, infrastructure all on their own without any government support, without any handout, without anything. They're doing it themselves. That's the power of the Malawian spirit. It just needs to be released. And water is the first step that makes that happen. None of that has happened without water first being there. So at the second school I was telling you about, their attendance when we went there in 2021 was 155 students. Now it's gone up to 450 students. The first school, they had 755 students. Now they have 960 students. You cannot imagine the amount of research that's being done on trying to find a solution to the child education problem in Malawi. And all we did was put in a borehole and stumbled upon at least the first step in a solution. Keep all your other research, but please first put a borehole in schools. So again, this year we're going to target more schools. We want to help out. We want to make sure that there's a strong future there in Malawi. But you can see here the difficult areas we like to reach. Like I say, we're not tripping over anybody. And we require that a village water committee be formed for sustainability in each village. And if we don't get a commitment from the village, we're not going to do it. We're not just into poking holes in the ground that are going to not be working for 20 years. So we have a little slower approach. It costs us a little bit more, but we feel like the sustainability is worth it. People have more time to work on farms. It's this last year when we went, we were in a particular village, and the ladies came to me and said, I said, what do you do now with all your spare time? We were really late in the day, and always women at the water well, of course. A bunch of young ladies there, little babies in their back getting water. I said, what do you guys do in your spare time? They said, we formed a sports club, a netball club. I go, you did what? Yeah, we have a sports team. I go, you kidding? Do you like compete among yourselves? No, we compete against other villages. Okay. So I asked them, who's the best one on your team? There's this young mother there. She's the best one on the team over there. So cute. But just this last year, we were in a village, and the ladies came to me and said, we start micro businesses. Immediately, that's what they do. This is the entrepreneurial spirit that's released when you have the free time and the luxury of health and water. This one lady says, I buy peanuts, I bring them back here, I sell them. Another lady says, I buy tomatoes from the local farms and bring them back to the village and sell it. Another lady says, I'm going to buy charcoal, I bring it back here and sell it. When we were up at the lake, they make grass mats and they sell them. It says it brings additional income. They're doing bakeries. There was the men say we're doing cooperative farming now because we're set free from water slavery. We're able to work together as men and to water our gardens and work together. We have money because we're not spending it on clinics. We're not spending on long journeys to the clinics. We're buying fertilizer, we buy seeds. They said we're buying chickens, we're buying goats. What are you doing with those? We're raising them for extra money, but we're also eating them. Our food tastes better. It's cooked in clean water. Our encima, which is their corn, is white. It's supposed to be white, not red or dirty. And they go, look at us, we're so much healthier. And I look at them and go, man, you're still pretty skinny. But they're so happy. There's so many things that water access allows. But in the school thing, we've seen that huge literacy gap just disappear. between boys and girls, because it's not a capacity problem. It's not a gender problem. It's a accessibility to water problem. And we're talking about water equity here. So all surface water is contaminated, and as long as they have to get water from open pits and swamps and holes in the ground, they're going to continue to suffer. Tomorrow will be the same as today. There'll be no difference 10 years from now. I've been going 30 years, and there's no change until water is implemented. No change. We put in a borehole over 20 years ago. We went back to visit that village any number of times. And there was a young girl, 16 years old, going to school, all tall, rosy cheeks, clean clothes, had her books on her bike, never had a waterborne disease. I know her grandfather. I know her parents. And this is a young girl on her way to school. We're at Masavedeve's church. So special, just on her way to school on a little bike. All that's made possible simply because of the generosity of people who trust us to make this happen. All right, ready for another one? This one's very special to me. It's in a very difficult place to get to, but I'll let this describe it for you.
Hello everyone, I am Kurt Dahlin with Waterworks for Africa doing our annual site inspection tour. We always like to meet the people that we're helping, and we are so far up in Mount Gochi somewhere. They gotta have GPS to get here, and it was an impossible walk just to get here, and we can't believe that they made it. But I wanna make a special thanks to Eddie Braun. Eddie Braun, thank you so much. You know that you were very instrumental in making our first trip to Malawi possible, September 1994, which next year will be 30 years, and we thank you for your continued support. So we want you to know how grateful we are and these people are for the fact that you had a vision to help people in Africa, and that was the seed that's produced Water Wells for Africa, and this year we should have 500 water wells installed for so many people like this. So we are putting boreholes in the most completely difficult places, you can see here. So these are some of the water committees here. A lot of people have been here since 1980 or so, and this is the first clean water they've had. They showed us the mountain. We have some footage. We have some footage of the road coming in to show you how difficult it was. But they're struggling for water, sick all the time. But now they're getting clean water. And there's been a cholera epidemic in Malawi, but not here. So there's no waterborne disease, 100% elimination, and no cholera just because of this borehole in this area. And they told me that so many people would come, members of parliament, looking for votes every few years, making promises, but we've heard these promises, they said, for 36 years. And Water Wells for Africa is the first organization that has kept their promise. So there's a village up here where we were focusing on putting in water at Chipungu, and the ladies heard that we were drilling, so they got a contingent of 4 ladies, walked all the way over there, and begged with our people to come here and see where they get water. So after a long, hard day, they go, okay, we'll come, because that's the heart of our people that we have here. These aren't just people who are doing drilling projects for the purpose of personal income, but to really help people. So they came all the way here, and there is some vestiges of the road that continue to exist. But they said, this is impossible. It was late in the year, it was September, and they said, you know what? We're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be too long, too hard to build this road. But they said, we will build this road in 7 days. So our team finished, left, went back to Blantyre, and we got a call that they had finished the road in 5 days. I said, how did you do it? Because it's so hot. I know it's September. They said we worked in the dark. We got up very early. We worked in the dark. They built the road in 5 days. Our people came all the way back here. Our wonderful team members and our drillers inspect the road, and sure enough, within But how long? Within weeks, we said? Within weeks. Yeah, within weeks, they got up here and organized and mobilized and put in this borehole. So the ladies came and asked them and said, please, we are also human beings. Come and see where we get water. And it was so difficult, they said, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do it in this drilling season. There's certain periods of time before the rains come when you can drill. And they said, no. Elifer here, who's the chairman on the water committee, says we will build this road, which they did. And so here we are, we're really excited. And we got it done. And of course, life has changed, we're all happy for the better. But Eddie, I want you to see the people you're helping. There's numerous families that will use this. Let's find out 30 families high up here in the mountains that are so blessed, so happy. When we came in, they just couldn't contain their joy. So you helped make that happen. You've continued to make it happen. You continue to support what's going on here. I want you to know just how much we appreciated you. Not only in 1994 we came and had such a good time in Malawi, but the fact that you've been a consistent giver, a consistent supporter. You believed in us, you've helped us, and we're looking forward to our 30th year next year. So Eddie, thank you so much. Zikomo, Sangalala, Segalera, Alulutira. Yeah.
Drinking warm water before bed balances blood sugar levels overnight.
Sorry.
That's all right. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to visit at least 500 villages. And of course, we've driven by hundreds more that are in the same desperate situation as this particular videos that we've been showing you. There's no end to the need. There's no end to what we know is possible to do. Because we have such good partners and such accountability structure, there's no end to the amount of good that we can accomplish in this particular area of the world. I've been requested by so many different village chiefs and different people. 90% of Malawians live in the rural areas. And they said, you know, we need water. They don't say, I need books, we need schools. They go, we need water. And I said, I would love to help you. Please pray for us that we can do more, because we want to do more. We share your passion, and I assure them, I will be your beggar. I will go back, I will plead with people who want to participate with us to bring this blessing. And so I'm reminded of Mark 9:41, which says, if anyone gives even 1 cup of water because you belong to the Messiah, I tell you the truth, that person will surely be rewarded. That person could be you. If anyone gives, God says there's a reward for that. And it's not that we're looking for the reward, but God's going to bless the giver as he always does. We know that for a fact. So even today, I'm here. I believe it's providence of God. We believe in the sovereignty of God, don't we? I'm not here by accident. I'm here because God wants to use you, this congregation, large or small, to help people rise out of the poverty in which they're in. Every gift goes into a coffer. We're doing 10 new assessments right now. We do them in increments of 10 so that we can ensure accountability, so we can develop the water committee. We'll do another 10, another 10. A couple of years ago, we were able to do 100. We can do 100 a year easily. We can only do the amount we have money for. We've done 40, we've done 60, done 80, done 100. This last year we did 55. We feel pretty happy about that. We have a capacity for more than that. And like I say, very soon we're going to begin a new drilling year. The drilling year is like baseball season, April to October, and then the rains come, and where we go, it's prohibitive. You can't get there, it's impossible, it can't be done. So, David Livingston, your Presbyterian missionary, opened up Southern Africa to not only Christianity, but global commerce. And Livingston was an instrument used by the hand of God to end slavery in the eastern part of Africa. So we are standing on the shoulders of the work that was begun, a great seed planted in the 1800s by a Presbyterian missionary, explorer, doctor, who dedicated his life to not only Africa's exploration, but also humanitarian efforts. His commitment to the well-being of African communities inspires me to continue developing his legacy. Everything that we do is built upon the foundation and the door that he opened. And when he died in 1873, his body was carried from Tanzania to the coast by his Malawian friends, who carried his body and his artifacts all the way around to England. And David Livingston is now buried in Westminster Abbey. Anybody been there? Yeah. Every time I go, I like to go and just stand at the grave of David Livingston. And there's his final words are on the gravestone there. And of course, he worked very hard to abolish the slave trade. But he said this, his last words are, "All I can add in my solitude is may heaven's rich blessing come down on everyone, American, English, or Turk, who will help heal this open sore of the world." So I'm always reminded that not only are we building upon the foundation that he made, but also we're receiving the blessing that he prayed for. Amen.
This is time for questions and answers.
Do my best.
I guess I'm curious, two questions. Is there a certain number of people that one borehole will serve? Is there, a capacity for a borehole? And then the other question is there a life expectancy of a borehole? How long it will
Well, because we've been doing it 30 years, we know they last that long.
Okay.
When I first started, people said, how long do they last? I go, I don't know.
Okay.
But now we know they last 30 years. When they're properly maintained. There's charities will put them in and won't instruct anybody, and then they complain about the failure of the water projects because they're not maintained. Well, that's because you don't take the necessary extra steps to assure that that is going to happen. So that's one of the things we do. We do them in increments of 10, we can do 100. We like to get those finished, make sure the committee is formed, make sure they're trained. Community-based management training also deals with hygiene, because hygiene is extremely important for all of them, and for sanitation, protection. And the people take tremendous ownership of that whole process. It's not like, now we don't want to do it. They've never had water before. They've been begging for water. In many places they said, you're an answer to prayer. So we have found where we do business that they are very keen on sustainability. Now, if you go online, look up the AfroDev hand pump, it says it's about 500 to 700 people. So each one of these, no matter where they are, is going to get used by as many people who can possibly get there. So we were just in an area this last summer where we put in a borehole 20 years ago. We went to visit it. There's a little 18-year-old mother there who's never been sick her entire life. And then over the years now, we've attempted to strategically locate water wells so that multiple villages will be able to use them. So some of them are used by 2,000 people, but we think that's overuse. That can deplete your aquifer. So we're going to put them, we're going to put 4 in this area. So this village area, this one. We're trying to do as much as we can to make it easier for people and to have it more accessible, and also that will help the longevity of the pump. But this type of pump that we use has a good supply chain in the country. A part of the training is where to get it. You form a treasurer, you have a chairman, and it's just a few moving parts and some seals in the foot valve and the bushings, which are available, and we find that they will repair them themselves. They don't wait around wringing their hands, waiting for someone to come. I say, I'm not coming back to help you fix this. All right, this is yours, it's your property, it's up to you to maintain it. And they understand that. Like I tell them, in your kwacha, this is $8 million. 8 million kwacha. I said, wouldn't you feel rich? Yeah, we feel rich. Well, you are. You're enriched. And this is a very great gift, and they understand that, and we found that they take care of it. So 500 to 700 people, that's what we're trying to do. In many cases, they do much more than that, just depending on when their shallow pits and swamps dry up, they're forced to come to this place because it's the only sustainable water point.
Thank you.
How do you find the water in all these places where you want to go? How do you?
They got those little sticks. No, believe it or not, there's plenty of water underground. You do have to find it. There's a couple different technological devices that they will use. We have a hydrogeological engineer who will go out. They have one that charts into radar frequencies because water gives off electromagnetic waves. So they'll chart this on their computer system that they have, and they'll see where the best chance of finding water is. There's another form that will take electronic probes and stick them in the ground at certain intervals and send down a sonar. It'll come back and read it on a computer. It'll tell you where the soft spots are pretty much and where the likelihood of water will be. We're probably 90% accurate with that. There are some dry boreholes, and we'll re-drill. In one place we had to drill 5 times. The need was so great. We kept coming up empty, and we got the hydrogeological guy out there again. We did 3 more surveys. We drilled some more. All we got was dust. It was so heartbreaking because we were building road after road after road. In fact, there's a full documentary of this exact story on our website called Roadways to Change. It's 55 minutes. You might even want to watch it because it shows you the whole process of drillers and everything. But eventually, we found water because that's what we're into. That's what we do, and we're not going to give up. So some of the cost of that is spread over the whole overall project. So we say, it costs $8,000 to $9,000. Well, this one might be a little cheaper. That one might be a little bit more. This one's a little further to go. It's not an exact price like you go into the store and buy something. Sometimes we need more gravel. Sometimes we need different drilling equipment. There's mud under there. There's solid rock, and so it's flexible. But our drillers are amazing. We really love and appreciate it.
Kurt, do you have any projection for when in the future Malawi would be covered with enough boreholes?
Well, the thing that confines us is just the finances of it. That's all. I got the guys, we got the workers, we got the drillers. There's no end to what can be done. And another thing that's come as a result of this, I'll tell you about, it's called the Blossom Project. So we went to Nyanjanji School, we put in a borehole, they're so happy. Attendance has gone from 755 to 960. A lot of that is just girls coming to school. In every single village, girls are free to go to school. How many of your girls go to school right now? They go, oh, we can't even number them all. Okay, that's a lot. So we probably have thousands of girls who are going to school right now. And so in 2021 when we went, the headmaster came to me and said, now with all these girls coming to school, we really have an embarrassing situation here because they need a changing room. So during menstruation, they have a place to go to be clean and to change because it's very embarrassing. It's subject to superstition. Boys make fun of them. girls will not come to school if that's the case because they're walking for so far. And I go, okay, let me go back and explore that and see what I can do. And so I got my guys to go get an architect, draw it up, 4 rooms, put in 4 nice toilets, because some of the toilets that they have over there are just a little grass shack with a hole in the ground. Sometimes it's just a little bamboo wall with a hole in the ground. Sometimes it might be improved sanitation, which means a cement building, but there's no doors, and it's very embarrassing. So in just last year we started what we call the Blossom Project. We built 3 of them right now. We're really happy about it. And girls are so happy they're able to come to school and stay in school. And it's, it's health and hygiene and dignity for them. It's a biological reality, come on. So, we want to keep our girls in school. So we went back last summer to celebrate the grand opening of our very first Blossom Project Female Hygiene Center at Nanyanje School. And now the attendance, I said, has gone up to almost 900 by that time. And so they had Muslim chiefs and other chiefs, and they had dignitaries and teachers and our little group, our own little group of Americans who come with me, and the district educational director. So they're going to have this grand opening, 800 kids under the trees in the shade, and each class was coming up, giving a little skit, and just thankful for the water and thankful for the Blossom Project. Some it's in English and some it's Chichewa, the local language. And this 4th grade girl class comes up and they're singing. They got the little green uniforms on, a little barefoot, got the dirt, walking around, singing a cheerful song. And I go, hey, Fexton's our guy there. So what are they saying? I want to know what's going on here. And he goes, okay, they're saying when our parents have a girl child, they sell us into prostitution so they can make money for the family. But we're in school now, and we're thankful for the water, and we're thankful for the changing room. We're going to say no to that, and we're not Nyanji girls. We're going to stay in school and complete our education. Wow. I go, they said, what? Unbelievable. So here's young girls who are just saying no to culture and no to, this hideous request, and they're saying, no, we want to continue our education. It's only because of one thing. That's just because we put in a borehole in their school. And so we want to continue doing
Curtis,
that.
we're told as we're getting to the end of the hour, how can we access the options for supporting Waterworld?
I have brochures right here. They'll give you some options.
Perfect.
If anybody wants one like that, or maybe you know someone else that might, or you just for your own information. But you can go to our website, Waterworlds for Africa. There's obviously a donate page. Some people do something called a wishing well, where you get groups of people to fundraise to, get the $8,000, $9,000 mark. We have a young girl who's been raising money for us since she's 14 years old. She's probably raised over $500,000 cooking, baking cakes at Thanksgiving. She's now a senior in college and works for us as an intern. Little Brittany Harris, her stories on our website. You can write a check, you can send it to Waterworlds for Africa, Post Office Box 635, Manhattan Beach, California, 90267. If anybody wants that address, you can do it that way. We're a certified non-profit, 501c3. We would be more than happy to partner with you to put in my next 500 water wells. So one of the things that motivated David Livingston was the missionary Robert Moffat from South Africa said, I get up in the morning and I see the smoke of 1,000 villages that don't have the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. And that motivated David Livingston to dedicate his life to bringing not only the gospel, but opening the way to all of Southern Africa. And so I see 1,000 villages that need water. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here and for all you do, and in Paul's memory as well. And I'm so grateful. My family was in the Ottoman Empire, and without American missionaries there in the 19th century, I wouldn't be here, and there wouldn't be any girls' education. So bless you, bless you.
Well, we thank you all. The Mission and Outreach Committee, David, do you have anything you'd like to say as chair of the committee?
I don't think there's anything more we can add other than thank you for being here, Kurt, and thank you for what you've been doing and your continued work, and we're happy to now know you.
And for those of you who didn't know and didn't see her, Rachel, would you stand? And this is Sarah's mother, and with the celebrity and the But thank you all so much for coming, and there will be more discussion and more information available to you in the weeks and months to come. Keep us abreast.